Hello and welcome back to Mega Reacts. So today we're going to be reacting to Babylon 5 Season 2 Episode 15. Last episode we had this Minbari who basically set Sheridan up for murder. We got to see how those of the Minbari look at Delenn now. We got to learn more about honor of the different houses or classes or however they're grouped together. And it was really interesting that it showed kind of the inner workings of the Minbari just a little bit more, because they are a very fascinating race and I want to know more about them. We also had Vir, I believe it's Vir. He is Londo's assistant. They were wanting to replace him because when he got the job, no one wanted it because Londo was not viewed as a great Centauri warrior of the Republic. But now, now that he is, it is a very prized position, and they wanted him out and someone else in. But Londo, showing the stand-up man he is, he held on to his trusted Centauri advisor. I know I do a terrible accent, but I try. I love the way Londo talks. It's so good. But yeah, that kind of sums up the episode. Let's get right into episode 15. But before we do, come on this journey with me. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Patreon link in the description below. This is Mega. Let's get into it.
We interrupt our regular evening schedule to bring you the following special program. September 16th, 2259.
Getting Paul Verhoeven
The
vibes.
Interstellar Network News presents 36 Hours on Babylon 5.
In the 100 or so years since humanity went to the stars, we've established outposts and colonies on over 24 worlds in 14 solar systems. Out of all those far-flung outposts, only the Mars colony, plagued by scattered groups of separatists who have used acts of terror to intimidate the Earth-loyal majority, has proven more controversial than the Earth Alliance station, Babylon 5.
Some propaganda.
Located in Babylon 5 has defied the odds and continued to operate as a free port, a center for diplomacy, and a showpiece for the Earth Alliance Resources and Technologies Division. And I recently spent 36 hours aboard Babylon 5.
Are we watching the actual news report this episode?
Getting in a little over our heads. In the process of putting this report together, it didn't take us long to learn the most important rule of survival aboard Babylon 5. Expect the unexpected. This footage was shot from our position on the bridge of the Earth Transport Heyerdahl on final approach to Babylon 5.
Roger, Babylon.
If this entire episode is shot from the perspective of them filming, or it actually is the film reel they would have shown to the people in this reality, that's going to be an amazing change up and such a great way to kind of showcase an outsider coming in to Babylon 5. If it doesn't do it that way, and I've rambled for a minute here for no reason, I do apologize.
Mark.
Confirmed, Heyerdahl. We non-transport Natan, return to your holding position at once. I repeat, return to
Shadraka!
Centauri vessel Malios, break off!
Natog! Natog!
Holy smokes!
A terrible explosion, a conspiracy involving several of these individuals, lies, deception, and the deaths of hundreds of people. All this and more in 36 hours aboard Babylon 5, here on the Interstellar Network News.
I'm so here for this.
Best hope
oh
for peace.
My.
A self-contained
I love these type of episodes. Oh, I love the change up. I love seeing how an outsider can spin things and change the reality with editing. We do that with YouTube videos.
All alone in the night.
30 minutes ago, a Narn vessel opened fire on a Centauri transport without warning or explanation. The bodies of the dead and wounded are being brought to this central docking area. Captain Sheridan, Cynthia Torkman, ISM News, do you have any comment on what just happened here?
No comment at this time. Doctor.
What about the Narn vessel that attacked the transport?
We dispatched a fighter wing to apprehend them. We won't know anything more until they're in protective custody. If you will excuse me, please.
This is exactly the kind of behavior that endangers the very purpose of Babylon 5. This place is dedicated to finding peaceful solutions to our problems.
Propaganda, baby. Propaganda.
Then the attack on your transport was completely unprovoked.
Of course.
He's lying.
Then can you tell us why your ship opened fire on the Centauri transport?
I'll issue a statement after I've consulted with my government.
Overall, I've found this to be a good working environment.
You found him given the death eye.
And you've never felt that your safety has been compromised?
No, ma'am.
So this has been a positive experience.
Gonna watch her the whole time.
You enjoy working with everyone?
Yes. It's a calm, pleasant environment. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get upset here.
I guess it's the old joke. You don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. I suppose there is a...
you're trying too hard.
You know what the folks back home don't understand? The ones who've never left Earth, is just how dangerous space can be. Aside from incidents like this, just the everyday reality of living your days and nights in a big tin can surrounded by a vacuum.
Yeah.
I remember my first time on a transport.
God, he's going deep, ain't he?
Just a kid, maybe 17. A buddy of mine was messing around and zipping through the halls, and he hid in one of the airlocks. But just as I got close, he must have hit the wrong button because the air doors slammed shut, space doors opened, and he just flew out into space.
Yeah. Like an alien off the Namastrata.
One thing they never tell you is that you don't die instantly in vacuum. Just hung there against the black, like a puppet with his strings all tangled up.
Fucking deep.
One of those old cartoons where you run off the edge of the cliff and your legs keep going.
Don't look down.
You could see that he was trying to breathe, but there was nothing.
Ugh.
And one thing I remember when they pulled in his body, his eyes were frozen.
You're going dark, man.
A lot of people make jokes about spacing somebody, about shoving somebody out an airlock. I don't think it's funny. Never will.
Although the airlocks on Babylon
Why am I laughing,
are
dude?
safer,
That was so intense.
Have shown that
I've just been briefed by my government, and I'm prepared to issue the following statement. The Centauri ship that was attacked by one of our vessels was not simply a commercial transport. It was secretly transferring weapons of mass destruction. They have turned Babylon 5 into a weapons supply post. And we cannot allow this to continue.
More
Even if it
propaganda?
means shutting down Babylon 5.
36 Hours on Babylon 5 continues with Cynthia Torkman.
But let's remember that the Babylon project was conceived right after the Earth-Minbari War. At that time, the idea of a diplomatic station designed to keep anything like that from happening again was very appealing.
And
yes.
Now?
There's a lot of money in war.
Still too early to tell. Certainly, we've rebuilt our military forces to a point far in advance of where they were 14 years ago. If the Earth-Minbari War started today, I think things might have gone a little differently.
Oh, come on.
So while I'm not
You tempting the Minbari now?
Well, with all due respect to Senator Quantrell, speaking as someone who did his part in the front lines, I'd have to say we still haven't fully recovered from the Minbari War. And we haven't anywhere near the level of technology we would need in the event of another major conflict.
You can't even target their ships,
Anybody
right?
who thinks that we could hold our own against the Minbari, the Centauri, and God forbid, the Vorlons, is just plain kidding himself.
you sound angry about it.
No. I'm not.
I was in war.
It just sounds to me like jingoism and self-deception and armchair quarterbacking.
Yes.
Anytime you lose a war, you just wait a few years and you'll hear from everyone who thought that we could have won if they'd have done the fighting.
Except, of course, Captain, we didn't lose the war.
They surrendered.
The Minbari did surrender.
Oh, that's formality.
When the captain is otherwise engaged with diplomatic or business affairs, this place is under the watchful eye of its perky and energetic commander, Susan
Perky and energetic, really?
All right, make one more sweep, pulling in whatever you got.
Never heard that
and head for the
before.
barn.
Now, Commander, I'm sure there's more to your story than that.
Hmm.
Yes.
You're not going to hear it here.
What do I hope for?
I hope to get through this interview without getting myself fired. How's that?
There we go. There's Garibaldi.
I don't know.
Alien sector, which provides alternate atmospheres for 14 different species. Ironically, the alien sector is how the aliens here refer to the human part of the station, proving once again that beauty
carrion eater,
and the
watch
beast
out.
Are in the eye of the beholder.
Minion of Cthulhu, Dark One, the Ancient One, he who swallows
Probably
time.
A few moments ago, while we were setting up this shot, we got our first glimpse of the Vorlon as he was leaving his quarters just behind me.
You know, like Bigfoot walking by.
This is an ISN exclusive, presented here for the first time.
It's Ambassador Kosh, over here!
Mackie, quick, the camera. Ambassador Kosh, Ambassador! Cynthia Torchman, ISN News. Can we ask you a few questions? Ambassador Kosh!
I do not do interviews.
Tell me we got that. Did we get it?
According to station records, you looked quite different a year ago.
I volunteered for this change, in the hope that it would lead to a better understanding between our peoples.
Over 250,000 humans were killed in the war with your people. How do you think the families of those victims will feel?
Is that all? Thought it would have been more.
I don't know. I would hope.
I think they would feel hurt. What would you say to them? To all the husbands and wives and children and brothers and sisters of the people who were killed in the war with your people, and now see a Minbari.
The humans started the war. Why are you throwing shade? It was war.
Can we stop this?
We have already filed a complaint with the Centauri government on the grounds that Babylon 5 is neutral territory and is not to be used as a staging ground or a munitions depot.
If I may make an
It is this kind of irresponsible activity, Ambassador, that endangers this station and everyone here.
Classified
It will not be
info are
tolerated.
transferred outside the station, ship to ship. The risk to Babylon 5 is minimal.
Oh, we've already seen your minimal risk, Ambassador.
They're doing what they always do! Using details to distract us from doing what must be done! There are 7 more Centauri vessels berthed outside. My government demands that these ships be impounded and their weapons...
Fucking good. I'm sorry. God, this is good television.
This is Babylon 5 space.
The sounds you hear are heavy weapons on the Narn and Centauri vessels doing battle just outside Babylon 5.
Damage report.
Levels brown 90 through 92 report damage. Hull region blue 70. Dropping pressure doors.
Get a repair crew down there, stat. We have 250,000 people here to defend. If they won't stop this, we will. All fighters, open fire. Fire at will.
Roger, Babylon Control.
Let's shoot them. Shoot them all.
Target engines and navigation if possible. React Team 12.
That's some good flying.
2 non-vessels destroyed. 2 damaged and out of the fight. Remaining Centauri vessels are offering to surrender.
All right, pick them up, bring them in, and throw them in the...
Gonna make the Narn say you chose sides. You didn't kill any Centauris.
Tell Ambassadors Jakar and Londo I want to see them in chambers now.
What if they refuse?
Ugh.
Then you can throw them in the...
Hello, camera.
Prior to the battle we just witnessed, ISN spoke with representatives from both sides in order to better understand the history of this conflict.
Roughly 150 of your years ago,
Different
Centauri
perspectives.
came to our world. Narn was a green and fertile place then. We greeted them in peace and spent the next 100 years in chains. But we never gave up hope.
Why do you think they invaded
Wow.
back then?
Wow.
Why does any advanced civilization seek to destroy a less advanced one? Because the land is strategically valuable, because there are resources that can be cultivated and exploited, but most of all, simply because they can. You have
Humanity in a
experienced
nutshell.
the same on your own world.
Yeah.
There are humans for whom the words "never again" carry special meaning.
When we first met the Narn, they were, what? A primitive people. We gave them technology centuries ahead of their own. Took them with us to the stars. Taught them laws. Civilized them. They repaid us with terror and death. They were the ones who declared war, remember? Not us. We want only peace.
The reality is anything but peaceful. With the skirmish outside concluded and the captured Centauri vessels about to undergo a complete search, things seem to have calmed down a bit.
What is it?
what kind of commentary is, I mean, I know it's purposeful. This is complete purposeful commentary on the media and on people and on history and just on the entire human civilization. But really a lot of this is commentary on the media, I think, and the way it can spin and show things and manipulate. Everyone out there, do your own research on everything. Trust no one. All right, the X-Files had it right. Trust no one. All right, trust no one. Do your own research. Form your own opinions, whatever they may be. Don't have to be my opinions. Don't have to be someone else's. Just form your own opinions. Do your own research. Just think for yourself. Do not be a machine. Do not be a bot. Not be, do not be an NPC. Do not just be someone who blindly follows anyone. Okay? You're watching Babylon 5, so I know you're not. Alright, because you're watching Babylon 5. People who watch sci-fi know the potentials of the futures. We've seen them all in our sci-fi shows and read in our sci-fi books. We know every outcome of every possibility. And they're all bad. They're all bad. Let's try not to go down that road.
ISN, the galaxy's most important network.
John, why aren't you outside playing with the other kids?
They hate me.
Tell me this is a commercial.
John, it's true. I'm different, Mom. I can feel what they think about me. And they know I can.
It's a Psycor commercial.
Because I knew he wasn't telling the truth somehow. And he just kept hitting me.
Psycor propaganda.
Oh
my god. This is freaking great.
Don't worry, Johnny. We'll take care of it from here.
Mom, look, a Psycop.
That's right, Johnny. You know, there are a lot of other kids who feel just the same way you do. They're confused and afraid, but they don't have to be. The problem isn't that other kids don't like you. It's that they don't understand you. But we do. You're special. You're a latent telepath about to come into full bloom.
My Johnny, a telepath?
Probably. But to be sure, take him down to the Psycor testing center first thing tomorrow.
How do I find one?
We're everywhere. For your convenience. We have offices,
we're everywhere.
And children's
for your
hospitals.
Convenience.
We even have mobile testing centers that travel the country. And if he qualifies, we'll give him an education, a job, a purpose.
Making
and
a damn
we'll pay
army.
all his bills for life.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, John, I can't believe it. You've come so far. Just look at you. We're all so proud.
And I'm proud to be part of the Psycor.
So remember, if you know someone who might be a telepath, or think you might be one yourself, help them get the help they need. Call the Corps.
Call government information for more on a Psycor center near you. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry for Public Information and your local Psycor recruitment office.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Sorry, that took forever. That took forever. I will edit that down for YouTube to where it looks like I do it first try because I'm awesome. I am not awesome, apparently. The Psycor is your friend. Trust the Psycor. Subliminal messaging. When you saw this episode for the first time, did you realize what I'm realizing right now, that this show is taking it to another level? The show is something you cannot predict in the most wonderful way, and episodes like this that really give a glimpse into this world that is being created. Episodes like this are what drives the sci-fi fan. So good. Okay, back to our show.
10 minutes ago, Captain Sheridan received a coded transmission from Earthdome on the current crisis. After considerable negotiations, we've been allowed back in to CNC to...
Captain John Sheridan, Babylon 5 to Centauri Cruiser. My government has rejected your demand that we release your ships. We will not consider any demand made under terrorist threat. We have activated our defense grid and are prepared to defend all ships coming through here.
Second jump point forming in Sector 10.
Darn. freaking Narn, isn't it?
Hell. Babylon Control to Narn Cruiser. We do not, repeat, we do not require assistance.
Here we go. Fire on them both, Babylon 5. Blow them both up.
All civilians.
Blow them both up.
As journalists, we would be remiss in our responsibilities if we suggested that events such as those you just witnessed were typical of the situation on Babylon 5. Like anyone else, they have good days and bad days. After the crisis was over, the debris cleared and the bodies counted, we asked each of the people involved in this story one question. Given the danger, at the end of the day, as Mr. Garibaldi said, is it worth it?
Absolutely.
Misunderstandings aside, yes.
I don't know anymore.
Yes, of course it is.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Look, if we weren't here right now, half the people in this room would be dead. Now that should be a good enough answer for anyone.
Yes. But not for any of the reasons that you've probably been told.
That's a good speech.
Good night.
Good night. Be right back with you. That was Babylon 5, Season 2, Episode 15. That is one of my favorite episodes of all time. Not just Babylon 5, but of any sci-fi show I've ever seen. The entire episode shot as a newscast. So we got to see a very polished and cut and edited view of Babylon 5 through the eyes of different people, including the newscaster and the actual people being interviewed. And it really shows how crazy of a place Babylon 5 is, and that it's actually somewhat working is amazing. It also, we got to see some of the inner workings of kind of Earth, because we're hearing some talk where they might not want to be involved in Babylon 5. And there's some points of propaganda in this that were kind of pushing that. Speaking of propaganda, Psycor commercial. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Oh, it's so good. So good world building. So good setting up exactly the kind of society and universe we are in. I can't get enough of that kind of stuff in my shows. It is the best. It is where sci-fi excels more than any other genre of TV show. The world building and the ability to make you think. Like, my mind is just... my synapses are firing everywhere. I have so much going on in my head, it's hard to even come up with a coherent sentence. I do these wrap-ups right after I finish watching, and maybe I should take a few minutes and gather my thoughts, like a fellow YouTuber says. Can't remember what his channel's called right now, but you know who I'm talking about. I took a minute to gather my thoughts. Now here's what I think. Love his channel, you should check it out. If I can remember it, I'll post the link below to his channel when this is on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm just all over the place here. But it was a great episode. The Narn, the Centauri War, it's getting way out of hand. It's spilling over to Babylon 5. We have death, we have destruction. We have the Doctor being emo as can be and just being intense, and I love it. Like this is a good episode for the Doc. He's good at those monologues of just depressing information. Londo, the forever politician. G'Kar is in a bad place because his people are losing this war, I think, and it's really taking havoc on him. He does not want to go back to the way his people were. We have Ambassador Kosh, just doesn't care. He doesn't do interviews. He's above all that. Ivanova, they called her Peppy. Never heard that in my life. She was great in every background scene she was in. Just watch her. Sheridan giving speeches like Picard on his best day. Babylon 5, you are a gem of a show. More people need to watch this. Why did it take me so long? I waited way too long to watch this show. Way too long. This show is fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please continue on this journey with me. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Patreon link in the description below. This is Mega, signing off. So good.